Day 8 of the NBA playoffs just ended. Let's talk about it. Right off the bat, I want to apologize to the Sacramento Kings and their fan base. I was not familiar with your team or your game. So that leads us to our first game here. We got the Kings and the Warriors. Another classic, might be one of the best rounds. Definitely of this year. It's the best first round of this year and recent memory. It's been an electric series. De'Aaron Fox is just really good at basketball, man. He had 38 points, 9 boards, and 5 assists while being clutch. What are they called him something on the broadcast? I can't remember. Like fourth quarter clutch Fox. I want to apologize to him. He's very good, and I like him a lot, and I like the Sacramento Kings. So this was another like shootout one. Um, the Sacramento offense is just so potent. If you give them anything, they're gonna knock down a three in your face. So you can't give them anything. I think if this game was on the road at Sacramento, they win. Just having the crowd behind them and the Warriors shrinking at away games. Just because at the end of this game, the Kings just had some questionable shots, like early in the shot clock, like kind of shots, which was like, why did you do that? Like Malik Monk with like 40 seconds left had like this weird like float like layup thing that didn't go in. Keegan Murray had a better game today. Usually this series he averaged like 10 points. Tonight he had 22 points. What else? That's really what I got for the Kings. I like the Kings a lot. And I like Malik Monk. I like De'Aaron Fox. I like them all. Let's talk about the Warriors real quick. The Warriors, Curry just had a master class. Well, not a master class, but like Steve. I called him Stephen Curry. Steph Curry kind of does his Steph Curry things, where he had like jumper after jumper, 3 point drive. He had this one in like the second quarter where he would look like he was doing the splits and hit a 3 pointer. So it was kind of comical how like just good life made this man at shooting the basketball from the 3 point line. Um, but they had the Kings had a chance to win this game at the end, but they forced it out of De'Aaron Fox's hands and right back to Harrison Barnes. And Harrison Barnes was fine from three, but it's not who you want taking the last shot, and the Warriors get out of there with a 1 point victory. Next up is this Minnesota Timberwolves game, Denver Nuggets game, and I just have to say, man, I know I titled like 2 videos after it, um, but Anthony Edwards really is him. I love Anthony Edwards. I think he's a young superstar, and I really can't get enough of him. To start this game, both teams looked kind of just tired, a little lethargic. It kind of just seemed like the Denver Nuggets were going through the motions, like they didn't really want to be there. Like Charles Barkley on the broadcast said, like everyone was just like looked tired. And even though Minnesota, like they had to win this game, it looked like no one was really taking it serious till like the fourth quarter. Um, The Nuggets really had no reason to lose this game. Like, you are by far the more competent team. Like, the Minnesota Timberwolves were the 8th seed, and you are the 1st seed. I know that, like, I have just seen the Nuggets be so much more dominant. And tonight they weren't dominating until, like, the last 4 minutes. So it's just like, I know you're tired or whatever, and you want to go home and just be done with the first round, but you got to get through this game, man. Um, yeah, so I didn't even know Nikola Jokic had this stat line, but he had 43 points, 11 boards, and 6 assists. So the triple double eluded him today. Um, rare triple double illusion from the Joker. And then so at the end of this game, the Wolves looked like they were gonna win it. They had like 12 points, and there were only 3 minutes left. And then Michael Porter Jr. and like I think it was Jamal Murray or someone else came up and just drilled back-to-back threes. and um, it was like a big meltdown for the Timberwolves, man, because they were like it looked like it was game over, man. They looked like they cleared, so it ends up going to overtime with a clutch bucket from Anthony Edwards, like a turnaround fade, like a turnaround jumper, I should say. And he sends it. He has a chance to win it at the end before overtime, but he just like the whole defense was focused on him, so he didn't get it off. Um, but it goes to overtime, and then the T Wolves just dominate. Cat fouls out, and Kyle Anderson gets hurt in this game. So I think they're gonna get swept. The gentleman swept in five. But yeah, shout out Anthony Edwards, man. I love that guy. I am very disappointed in the Cleveland Cavaliers this postseason. They drop another one at the Garden, at Madison Square Garden, so now they are 3-1. For all you guys know, if you guys don't know, I should say, I am a Cleveland Cavaliers fan. So it just sucks seeing them like completely fold like this. I would say there has not been like a single Cavalier that has lived up to expectations, except maybe like Danny Green, if you want to say that, if that even counts. We'll start off with the Cavs here, because I know more about them. Darius Garland started off slow, 2 points in the first half, so it looked like we were going to get a repeat Darius Garland of last game that could buy a bucket, but he turns it on in the third quarter. But Donovan Mitchell in this game, man, could not buy a bucket. He had more turnovers than field goals. He ended with 11 points, which is just atrocious, man. He is sneakily having one of the worst postseasons of his entire career, and it might. I don't even know how I want to say this, but like he would back to back from Utah, that series he had with Utah, with this Cleveland series he's having. It's like he's gonna be questioned from the playoffs, man. He's gonna be like, well, you've had two back-to-back playoff runs where you just suck. You're just awful. So Donovan's got to turn it on, man. I don't know what he was doing. I don't know what he's been doing this whole series, but he's sneakily having one of the worst postseason runs of his whole career. And Jared Allen, man, Jarrett Allen is like 6'10" and he can't get a board. He's got 4 rebounds in 40 minutes. Mitchell Robinson is outworking him. Josh Hart is outworking him on the boards. Evan Mobley was better, but still, these guys are 7 footers, close to 7 footers, and they can't get a rebound. But the 6'4", 6'5" Josh Hart can get a rebound over you. So it's just like I don't know what both of them were doing, but especially what Jared Allen was doing. Like, lock in, Fro. What are you doing, Goofy? Anyway, we'll get to the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks really surprised me in this whole playoff run. They have been so much better than I could have thought. Jalen Brunson really did everything they could, and now the contract that was kind of being clowned last offseason is looking like a complete bargain steal. Josh Hart, the genius trade. He did everything for them. He had threes, he had rebounds. He was like the perfect role player for any franchise. And New York got him, man. Julius Randle in this game had another bad efficiency game. He's been having these this whole series. But he got benched in the fourth quarter for R.J. Barrett, which shout out to R.J. Barrett, man. Had back-to-back, like, pretty good games. I'm not going to look at the stats, but I think he had like 18 points on pretty good efficiency. He still needs to work on his free throw shot. I believe about half of them, or a little under half of them, rimmed out. But he's looked solid these last couple games after Cavs fans were kind of clowning him. It's a really disappointing postseason for the Cavs. Supposed to be one of like the brightest, youngest cores, but disappointment so far. I think that the lights at Madison Square Garden don't help. Just a huge crowd. Yeah. And then last we have this Boston Atlanta Hawks game, and Boston gets the win in this one. So they just need one more to end out the series. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum both have 31 points. Solid performances from both of them. The Hawks were always like 10 to 15 points away from this in this one. So they were always kind of in striking distance, but you were always kind of like, are they going to get there? Are they really going to get there? But every time they needed a bucket, like it would either be Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, or Malcolm Brogdon would just drill anything that they needed. So yeah, I don't really have too much to say about them. And Onyeka Okongwu was good in this game, or not? Well, he was all right, but I meant Clint Capella. There was like this time in the third quarter when the Atlanta just had like back to back to back lobs, like lob, 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 all to Clint Capella. So Atlanta kept it close, but it always kind of felt like it was gonna go the Celtics' way. All right, that's gonna do it for tonight from me. In the comments, leave any thoughts, prayers, opinions. Am I an idiot? Am I stupid? Tell me, man. I don't know. I'll read it. Any comment I will reply to, maybe even featured in a video. But until then, I'll see you tomorrow night, man. Take care.